Yeah, g'day. Hope you're well. I'm just going to start with this little gem. Well, look who I ran into, crowed Coincidence. Please, flirted Fate. This was meant to be. Now, some time ago, the University of Toronto, in conjunction with Steinberg Labs, designed this little thing, a coincidence counter. Now, as you can see here on a University of Toronto webpage, they were pretty serious about this. Here's a bit of an overview of the components in it. It showed how it works, the calibration needed, the components used, blah, 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 blah. But it was quickly shelved. And do you know why it was quickly shelved? That's right, because there are no coincidences. There's no such thing as coincidence, and in fact, sometimes coincidence is a plan in disguise. Now, this time last year, these were the headlines in Melbourne. So loved and so innocent. It was the story of Eurydice Dixon, who was found murdered in Princes Park. Now, this year, 11 months later, these are the headlines. It's another murdered woman, Courtney Heron, who was found in Royal Park. So, do you think it was coincidence that these women were both murdered in the same area? One at Princes Park and the other across the road at Royal Park. Now, let's watch a TV news story on this, and I'll stop it and make some comment along the way. Okay, here we go.
Former workmates of the man accused of killing Courtney Heron have told how he was banned from a cafe after allegedly causing trouble. As Blake Johnson reports, Courtney had spent time with her alleged killer at a party just hours before she died.
Friends have told police they saw Courtney Heron at a party in the city on Friday night and that she left with Henry Hammond, who's now accused of murdering her and dumping her body behind this log in Parkville hours later. More of Henry's life came to light today. He used to volunteer at Lentil as Anything.
So the accused worked at a place called Lentil as Anything. Now, I believe this is part of the PSYOP. Lentil as Anything is obviously a play on words, based on a great Australian band called Mental as Anything. So yeah, let's just wait and see what else develops through this story. Will the mental issue be brought up?
A cafe on High Street, Thornbury, but was told not to come back about a year ago. The manager says he was causing trouble.
I went as far as calling in mental health services.
Well, blow me down with a feather. There we have it. Mental health services, she called.
Other cafe regulars told us Henry was living in a van out the back. As his mental state deteriorated...
Isn't it unbelievable, hey? But what else would you expect from such a prostitute as Blake Johnson? Just as he mentions that this man's mental state deteriorated, they show this picture of the wild man from Borneo, just to reassure you how nuts he was.
Dale Lee said she tried to help.
We tried to work with them. We spent hours and hours, countless hours and hours with them. In the end, we ended up having to ban him.
Coincidentally, it's the same cafe Eurydice Dixon volunteered at.
Say that again.
Coincidentally, it's the same cafe Eurydice Dixon volunteered at.
Say that again.
Coincidentally, it's the same cafe Eurydice Dixon volunteered at.
Booshit, Booshit, Booshit.
There's no such thing as coincidence.
She too was killed and left in a park in June last year.
It's a year next month for Eurydice, who was a volunteer in Bristol here and killed in very similar circumstances. So
Fuck you, University of Toronto. I wish you could get this coincidence counter to work. But as we know, folks, there's no such thing as coincidence.
Oh, I'm out of snow. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. No drinks for me, thanks. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.